Good afternoon. It's almost 1 o'clock, which means it's cook o'clock. So, welcome everyone. Great to have you here. The exciting thing about today is change is phenomenal and change is inevitable, right? So we're going to do something with a little bit of a twist. When we were working out the recipe, Jacques said it's probably going to take 7 hours, 3 days, and 44 minutes to make a tart. So we said, that's amazing. And we've got a 45. So what we're doing is an interactive masterclass, because what we're going to do, that's why I asked what your cooking number is. Those of you that said had a high number, closer to 10, are going to be cooking. And the rest of us are going to eat and watch and enjoy. We'll never criticize. So no pressure to the ladies in the front. The ladies in the back, if you do want to, you're welcome to come and fill. You can watch from the screen. That's why I said grab a water, grab a wine, because you're not actually going to physically be making just because of the practical time. So if you wonder who Jacques is, as just a bit of a context, one of the things that inspires Jacques is being healthy and allowing good food to be an energy source for yourself. Something else that he likes is that he says sweet things don't always have to be bad. Ask your neighbor, are you sweet? And then ask your other neighbor if they're sweet in case the one said no. All right. No, go on then. Ask your neighbor, are you sweet? Are you sweet? Are you sweet? Are you sweet? Yes. Lovely. Fantastic. And then, does anyone want to know one thing that no one knows about him? Only you. Okay, I'll talk to you. One thing that... I'm kidding. Does anyone want to know one thing that no one knows about him? A little bit of oomph helps him cook better too. Is that he loves swimming naked in Switzerland, and he did it this past winter in January. Give him a round of applause for that. And then on that note, please note that you run something called Cinema Club. It's an all-vegan online bakery, and it's also gluten-free. Without further ado, welcome. Put your hands together to welcome yourself and to welcome Jacques.
Welcome everyone to this vegan meringue class that we're going to do today. This is a lovely way to show, and just to make it this very, very pretty. It's kind of something that we make every day at our bakery, and I really enjoy to prepare it there as well. So without further ado, we're going to show you all of the steps that we make to use this vegan meringue in our recipes. There's quite a lot of steps that we have to do here today, so I'm going to show you everything that goes into it. So what I found, it's a very, very technical recipe. It's important to take all of your steps and to take your time to measure everything out. So a step that I did before you guys came in is a very important one. I took the chickpea water and I cooked it in a microwave for 3 minutes. So I measured it and I saw, okay, how many grams is in it? And then I cooked it down, and it's very important to remember that number. In this case, the water was 180 milliliters. So you remember that number, and then you're going to pour it now into the bowl so you can see how much is in there. Perfect, so I've got 126 grams there. So now I'm going to add the same amount of sugar, or roughly the same amount of sugar, into another bowl. Just before I do that as well, what I like to do is to add some cream of tartar to the vegan meringue and get it cooking as well, because it's important to get it whipped up before you start cooking your caramel sugar there. I've brought some cream of tartar from home that I'm just going to pour into the bowl here. Just a little bit is more than enough. And then we get this baby rolling. We can make it as high as it can possibly go. And this is going to whip in total for like 13 minutes. While this is busy whipping, I'm going to start with our caramel. So for this part, what I like to do is I like to just get my phone out to do all of the measurements. So when I poured the water into the bowl, I saw it was 127 grams. So now I take 85% of 127. There's a lot of math here. I didn't do very well in math in high school, but this is just keeping my brain fresh. 127 times 85% is equal to 108 grams. So 108 grams goes into the bowl here. Perfect. Ja, ons gaan meer insit. 108. Okay, we've got 108 grams of sugar into this bowl. Now we're going to add 50% of this total in water. Now we pour slowly. This amount is 33 grams, so we're going to pour in 33 milliliters of grams into the sugar water. Take your time with this and make sure that your measurements are correct. Get a fork to combine and whisk everything together to make it like a bit of a... Perfect, everything is now together, and now you can start getting your pan nice and ready. Yes, you can put them down for them. I'll do that now, that's fine. As you can see here, our meringue is already very, very fluffy, which is fantastic. I'll show you there when we're busy there, then everyone can see. But what I've started doing here is getting our pan at its hottest possible temperature so that the sugar can immediately get to boiling point.
Jacques, just to give you context on these, P1 is cold.
Yes.
And P9 is at its hottest.
That's perfect. Thank you, Bjorn. So now we're pouring the sugar into this pan. We get it nice and ready. And we just wait for the story to get to a boiling point. It's important also to note on your phone, just check the time. This is usually going to cook for around 8 to 10 minutes until it reaches its boiling, until it reaches its candy point where we're going to pour it into the meringue. I'll be with you now, yes? I like to leave it. I think it's fine if you stir it using your hand. That's 100%. If you stir caramel here, it mixes. Yes, it crystallizes. That's correct. So we're just waiting for the sugar now to get hot. I must say I'm very impressed with these machines. The meringue is already fully whipped up. It's basically ready to go, which is fantastic. Say again? I'm going to answer that question now. So apparently what's very interesting in the chef schools when they teach the students how to make the meringue, the eggs can overwhip. In my experience, aquafaba cannot overwhip. So this machine can just go and go and go. Just make sure that you get it in a time when you have electricity, huh? Yes.
It's a minor, major detail around load shedding, John.
Very important, huh?
Minor, major detail.
You have to plan these things out.
Yes.
You have to be very aware.
Absolutely.
So our sugar is cooking quite nicely now. I'm just going to turn the temperature a bit down. You want it kind of in the medium range. And I've checked my phone. I saw we started at 1 o'clock. So that's fine. And now I'm going to get to your stations.
Jacques, so that just stays simmering for a while.
That just stays simmering. Yes, it's correct. It just goes, and you're going to wait. You're going to see it's going to turn like an amber caramel color.
Okay.
And once it gets like really, really dark in color, you're going to pour it steadily into this meringue, and it's going to whip up. So now we're going to start this process again. Step 1, put the plug in, yes. Experienced chef you are. Thank you. This bowl, just to make things easy, I also measured at 180 milliliters of aquafaba of chickpea water, and I'm going to pour it into this bowl as well. This one I didn't cook for quite as long, so it's plus minus 140 milliliters of aquafaba. Yes, that's correct. Okay, now we're going to start this to whip. I just need to throw in some creme of tartar as well. Would you ladies like to do the honor of pouring this in for us? There we are. Just a little bit. Perfect. That's enough, thank you so much. Yes, I'll say that now, that's an important part. And now we get this machine whipping. Would you ladies do the honors for us? An important part of the sugar, hey, on the highest setting, yes. Yes, please. Bjorn, you're going to check that sugar for us there, that it doesn't get too hot. An important part of the sugar is to use caster sugar, because normal sugar wouldn't quite crystallize as well to go into the meringue. Yes, you can do that, that's fine. And I'm going to pour in 145 grams of sugar into this bowl. Sometimes it's very important to trust your intuition with the grams with this meringue recipe, as you can just have to follow what you think is going to work best, what you're resonating with. It has a lot to do with how long the aquafaba is cooked in the microwave.
And John, can that aquafaba just keep going for days?
It can just keep going, yes. I've not done it for days, but we'll see. It should work.
Cool. And how will I know when the sugar is like saying I'm ready? What should I look out for?
The sugar is going to get darker in color,
yes.
And that's what I look out for. And the other thing that I'm also doing is you check the time that you started with the sugar.
Ah.
So I've got 5 more minutes, or actually 6 more minutes on my phone, so
okay.
I know the sugar can just do its thing.
Cool.
And while you're waiting, just do something else.
Fantastic.
Whatever. Okay, I put in 145 grams of sugar in here, and now I'm going to do 30% of 145 grams of sugar in this bowl. So 30% of the water is going in here, which equals 37 milliliters of water. This table is shaking and I want to scold the girls, but I realize it's actually the mixture. I found these measurements are very important to make sure that the recipe goes quite well. It's very flexible, this recipe, but what I like is very stiff peaks and all of that, because sometimes the recipe can get too wet or sometimes it's a bit too dry. So we mix this mixture, and now ladies, I'm going to ask you to pour it into our oven top. We can put this on, and then I want the setting at the highest. P9 or P10? P10. So just give it a minute to warm up. Do you have your phone with you? Can you do the timing for us? Then you can see. It doesn't have to be precise, just a general measurement. You can see you started this and then you time it for like 10 minutes. Yes. And you can pour it in for us into the pan.
I'm going to invite some of the media. If you do want to come take pictures with things, Instagram reels, do
come and have a look.
Come around, no problem.
And do not stir the sugar. We're going to see what happens now. Yeah, get the whole bowl in, get everything in there. Thank you so much.
Especially if you want to kind of take it before the tart and
There we
afterwards
are.
kind of thing, you're welcome to do that.
Now it's important to get your sugar to boiling point, get it nice and hot. And then once it's nice and hot, you can reduce it. I'd say it on P5. I want a middle heat, just so it can cook evenly, and then everything is ready. Cool, then I'll see you guys later. And it's your turn. So interesting, I've talked to someone else who they do refined sugar treats. The thing with sugar is it reaches that candy point, which allows the thing to stabilize. I've used xylitol in the past as a sugar-free replacement. Xylitol works all right for an hour. It's not something that I would share with people if you're paying for it, because it might fall down after a while. But at home, if it's just for your friends or your family, then perhaps xylitol can work in the same measurements. Yes. So with my guidance, do you ladies want to try this out? Hey? Perfect. Let's do it together. Teamwork. Did you put the bowl for us on the scale? My sugar at my station is starting to give me amber colors. It's not quite there yet. It's still probably got 2 or 3 minutes to go. How much do we have? How much milliliters of water? I need to give you the water. Here we are. You can throw it. It doesn't matter. Yes, the whole thing. 152.
Maybe it's in Oz.
Okay. Another one. Last one. There we are. It looks like you have 2 balls. So you guys are very lucky, but I'm going to throw it in here. Is it on 0?
Let's go there.
Put it on 0 for us.
There we go.
Perfect. How long? To cook the water. So the water wants to be whipped for like 12 to 13 minutes, and the sugar is going to whip for 10 minutes. 3 minutes in the microwave and on a hot temperature, so it has enough time to reduce. And it's an important part of the process, because when the aquafaba is cooked, I'll be with you now, Bjorn.
I think this is burning. Just drop it down.
You guys are doing a great job.
The machine is quick.
Oh, I see. Okay, so
Drop
this
it.
is perfect.
Drop it.
We're going to put this one off. Okay, look out there, ladies, for us. Their caramel is ready before mine, which is fantastic. And I'm going to pour it into their machine now. It's very important to pour it slowly and to whip it.
Jacques, do you want me to give yours a stir?
Yeah, if you would, that would be kind. It's a very important process to pour this in slowly. And as you'll see, usually we like to do the meringue as white as possible, because this sugar is very hot. It's in a bit of color, which is all right, huh? It's very much part of the process to learn. Yes, of course. It's a caramel color. So I'm happy with that.
Yours is done.
Thank you, Bjorn. It's kind of important to just see how much liquid goes into the water. Okay, I'll be with you now. 144. Perfect.
Thanks.
My sugar is also almost ready, which I'm going to pour into my machine.
Oh, now it's getting big.
Yes, it's very big.
So it could go for days. You just
It
like
could.
get more and more and
It
more.
doesn't really matter. And once the sugar is into the machine, then it usually goes for about 5 minutes until it's ready.
Right. I have to tell you, for those who are watching, it's salivating delicious. The smell, I'm like,
Okay, I'm happy with my caramel. I'm going to pour into here as well. Just make sure your pan is not too hot and you can safely handle it while you pour it into the whipper. Slowly but surely does the job. I'm very happy with how mine looks. It's whipped up very, very nicely.
that's
So I'm
incredible.
quite confident in this one. The first
Wow.
meringue that we threw in there, we could see it was quite a bit wet, but mine has really like whipped up a lot. So then I'll throw in more sugar and more sugar until everything goes in, and you can see there's an adequate amount of liquid into this meringue recipe. And you can just have a peek here, everything is really whipping up very, very nicely. And when I'm done with you, that should be finished.
Do we add sugar to this or just the cream of tartar?
Just the cream of tartar goes into the bowl, and then we start whipping it. How's this yours looking? Is it better? Fantastic. Oh wow, it looks great, huh? You guys are naturals.
Yeah.
Just a gram of cream of tartar goes into this. There we are. The more the merrier. And you can start our machine for us.
Push it down here. There we go. Jacques, how high do you want it?
I wanted to go all the way as high as you possibly can to get it the strongest whipping capability that's possible. Do you want to do the honors of the sugar for us?
Nice. Coming
They
along nicely.
measured
Like, I
145
just wanna do
grams
that.
into their machine.
Like my finger.
144, so they're going to
Oh, with
measure
that chance.
144 grams of sugar into their bowl. And you, my blonde friend, can put the pan on for so long on the highest setting. Thank you so much. On P9. Then but you're going to have a great dessert soon. Okay. 144.
On 145. That's too much.
That's not necessary. Just somewhere there in the range. 1 gram is not a problem. Now it's important to get your calculators out. I'll give you the amount. 30%. Put some more water in for you.
That's obviously added to that.
100. I don't think your math is right.
145.
145 time. Okay. So the important to start off the sum again. You start with using the aquafaba, which you times by 85%, and that's where you get the sugar amount. Then you times that again by 30% to get the water amount.
The aquafaba amount or the sugar amount?
The sugar amount is going to be the 30. The
Wait.
water.
People should hear that question.
Is it the aquafaba amount or the sugar amount that you start with for the second equation?
It's you start with the aquafaba amount that you pour into this. Then you times it by 85% to get a number.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I'm doing it wrong.
No. No.
You use the aquafaba. You use the aquafaba number,
Yes.
145, and that we can times by 30%.
Okay.
Yes, to get
So
that
it's
number.
the aquafaba amount.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay.
I'm smelling something that's burning. It's very hot.
43.2.
Okay, that's fine. We can throw that in. Yes. $43. And it's important to take the water slowly. I think it's a table that's also not precisely flat.
So now it's on North Grand.
No.
So, but I know, let's maybe just add a little bit more.
Okay, add a little bit more for us.
And then give it a stir.
Perfect. I'm going to put my machine off in the meantime. My machine is whipped long enough.
We'll see about the consistency.
Yes. So a very important thing in this process is to make sure that your scale is always on and it doesn't just default back to 0 as what's happened in this case. So we're going to have a little bit of a proefkonyn. Ons gaan kyk hoe dit uitkom. Luckily this recipe is rather forgiving. I just want to give it you a one of these. You can pour the sugar in first into the hot pan.
Oh,
And this
is
should be
looking
boiling.
amazing. Yeah. All good things come to those who
There
wait.
we go. And now immediately, just because this pan is so hot, you can put this down to P4, P5. Do it on P4 for us, please. Is it
Yeah.
down to P4?
P4.
Okay. And now we can check the time on our phone. It's 1:23.
I tell
So
you
we
what.
give this again like 8 to 10 minutes to get to that dark, rich caramel color. And be careful not to have too much open skin because this is piping hot. It's never happened to me. I don't want this to happen to me. But it'll be very, very, very sore on your skin. You guys can come around. You can put your machine off as well.
Jacques,
Is
I
that
have a
long
question.
enough? Yes.
You crystallized yours, but yours looks much lighter compared to theirs. Is that
Mine-
because theirs got hotter fast and went brown?
You have to get used to your own stove's temperature. So obviously the way that we do it at our bakery, we're used to our stove. I'm assuming the Snappy Chef's ones, they're quite hot, so we put theirs a bit too hot. Their sugar caramelized a bit too quickly. That's why their color is just a bit different
Okay.
than mine. I quite like the very sophisticated white color, but theirs has got a nice like carrot cake, caramel type of color, which is fine. You learn.
Cool.
Now you take that out. Bjorn, I think you're going to have to assist me
Okay.
here to get this out. Yeah, you guys can leave your machine just to whip and keep an eye on the caramel as well. That's fine. And now this wonderful fluffy vegan meringue, we dollop onto the tarts and then it just makes everything look so presentable. Thank you, Bjorn. Anyone want to come up for a taste? To put a finger through this?
Wait, I've got teaspoons.
Perfect. Does anyone want to come and have a taste? Please do. Yes. Thank you so much. Wait till you taste it. It's even better on the dessert. And then what I really like is like when you guys serve it to family, it really makes it a very, very beautiful dessert. Yes. Okay, do it just like that. That's 100%. That color looks fantastic. And now you can slowly, is this pan hot? Can you handle it? Okay, then you can slowly pour it into this. Okay, slowly. And like I always say, just keep an eye on it, just keep an eye on the ratios, how things are looking for you. I think you can do 1 or 2 more dollops, then I'd stop. Okay, that looks enough for me. Sometimes when there's too much sugar water, this meringue is too soft and it's not possible to dollop it onto your tart. So I'd rather just make sure that everything is nice and perky and fluffy. Do we have a big spoon? Okay. Something like this. What I want to do now is to take the meringue and dollop it onto. Yes.
So you need a spatula.
Yeah, something like this, or like a big spoon would be perfect. That's 100%. Okay, you guys can check your machine here for 3 more minutes. Then you can stop it. After I've put in the caramel into the machine, I let it whip for 3 more minutes. Usually like between 5 and 6 in total. And now for the fun part, is to dollop the vegan meringue onto the tart. How's your meringue look? It's because the caramel, yes. But that's all right. Okay. But what you guys can do, if you want to, you can take the meringue that we have here, and you can dollop it onto the tart. Yeah. Like, can I do the first one? Perfect. So what I like to do, I like to get a big spoonful to really kind of create your base. And you put it onto it. And you bring it up into the air to get some peaks. Something like that.
Give it a flick.
If you really want, you're more than welcome to use your finger. Or we can get you another spoon. Yes, that's a good idea.
There we go.
Perfect. My friend on that side, I think your machine is finished. There we go. It's one of these recipes is equal to add to 2 of our big cakes.
Oh, wow.
So it makes enough of that, yes. But
Don't use it all.
no, you're more than welcome to use it all. This tart that Plant Powered Show has prepared for us is a very big tart. So that's why 1 recipe is enough for this one. You're right here. Perfect. Looks lovely. We've even brought some flowers and some grenadella that you can decorate your own tart now as well. Jorten, how does your recipe look? That looks perfect. Looks beautiful, yes. You can do that as well. It's working. Let us get you a spatula as well. Do you have another spatula? Let's use a microphone. You want to try it out? Perfect. I love how soft yours looks, and there's some nice peaks going on as well, which says the whole process has really worked well. And there's really lots of meringue in this bowl, which is more than enough to cover this whole tart.
Can you bake this meringue as well?
I'll tell you now. Yes. Almost finished. Perfect. Sorry. So last thought, the question that I got here is if you can bake this as well. What we've done is you pipe this meringue any leftovers that you have, you pipe it onto a baking sheet and you put that in the oven at 100 degrees Celsius. It's like very low for 40 minutes so that it can dry out. You put the machine off and then you keep it in the oven for another hour so it really dries out, and that's fine. Then you have dried meringue as well that we put on our cakes, which is lovely.
Nice.
And now for you, we've got some some flowers to add some lovely color to your tart. An interesting thing about color with food, color makes your subconscious brain hungry. So at the Cinnamon Club, we love using lots of colors in our cakes because it subconsciously makes your brain hungry and ready to have a treat.
Make it pretty, Jess.
And just whatever resonates, you can do. I've got some blue flowers for you girls that you can decorate your tart with. Big pleasure. The great thing about vegan desserts is using all of the natural ingredients. We like to use an abundance of all fruits and all fancy plant things that we can find. I've brought some grenadella as well that we like to add on our tarts. What I like to do is use dried fruit, some oranges, things like that, just to add different textures and different colors into our treats.
I have to tell you, there's a whole lot of deliciousness happening here. Mm-hmm. Yum. That's incredible.
Bjorn,
Yes,
you can take the grenadella for us to dessert.
I will now.
There's enough for one tart, and I'll give you some more now.
Here we go. Squeeze out your grenadilla. Just use that spoon. I love the smell of grenadilla when it's fresh.
It's so nice and fresh, isn't it?
Matthew, have a look at that. That's
Invigorating.
going to make you and all of you want more.
You can put it on the tart. What I
Incredible.
want. Yes, it makes it very visually appealing.
The pulp or the entire thing? Or
Just like this, something like this. And the great thing about decorating desserts, it's so spontaneous. You just do whatever looks pretty to you, and usually it works out. Yes, whatever you want to. Whatever you want to. Perfect. I hope you're hungry, Bjorn.
Is the base
Fantastic.
gluten-free?
Everything that we make is gluten-free, yes. This base is made from nuts and dates. Yes.
I'm starving on that note.
Perfect. Last one for you guys.
Okay. We are running a little bit of time, Jacques. If you can start
Fantastic.
getting into cutting.
Yes.
Do you want to cut over here?
That's great.
Cool, fantastic.
Can I steal your tart from you guys? Thank you so much for the help. Thank you. Throw that away. This is mine, yeah. Important when cutting into dessert is to start right in the middle and take it all the way through.
All right, I tell you what's going to be easiest. If we can kind of go to change things up. We start at the back. You've got your takeaways, bring it to the front, and let's give you a piece of tart. So that's great. You girls have your bowls on your table. You can go fetch it at the back where the other ladies are sitting. You can just get their
Take your
bowls as
spatula.
well. There we go.
Do you have any plates?
Yeah,
Yes,
they're bringing.
please. Perfect.
Just hold it right there. Just a little bit of light. Just into the middle. Into the middle where you picked it up. Over here, bring your knife across. And up. Stop. Just like that.
I'm going to get you another slice. A more aesthetically pleasing one. Perfect. I'm not going to give you this slice. I think you deserve better. Thank you, that's all right.
Use the paper towel.
Improvise.
So you just need to stand in the queue, girls, just behind the lady here. Thank you.
You got a big spoonful of meringue here and the avocado.
I have to tell you that's
When-
yummy.
Whenever you make vegan desserts, unfortunately we didn't prepare this dessert, but whenever you make vegan desserts and you're using the crust, you're using a raw crust. Thank you. This crust I can feel is very wet. There was a lot of water added to this date, which is fine for now, but when you're making your own, it's quite tricky to cut underneath it now just because of all the wetness. So when you're making your own, make sure that you get that ratio that it's not too wet. Otherwise it's very tricky to get a slice in, and then it's not that aesthetically pleasing to get that slice. But we can still have a taste, which is going to be exciting. Thank you. This tart is completely made with avocados, which makes it even a bit more healthier. Yes. Yes. Yeah, perfect. Thank you. There we are.
If you can come with the next table. Sorry, just we're running out of time because the next one needs to start. That'd be
I'm
great.
going to slice it. Thank you. Who's ready for a big slice? Looks much more better. Guys, I want to give a quick shout out to Bjorn as well here, the MC. He's done so much more than just talking. Big pleasure. Hello.
You're welcome.
Your guys' hummus looked amazing, huh? Do you have any left? Unfortunate. There we are. Thank you. For the sister as well.
No, I'm her best.
Is it? She's very lucky to have a special best friend like you. Are you going to
Sorry,
share your tart with her?
Just check if there's another spatula at one of the stations, please. If there is, if you can bring it. If there isn't, it's okay. Thanks.
Can I add a flower for you? Yes, let's do that. Thank you. There we are. Big pleasure. Hello, how are you doing? Is it? That's good to hear. Learn something new.
Definitely.
Elke dag, hè?
Elke dag.
Elke dag.
Maar ek is nie.
Die lewe hou aan ons verras.
Hy moet ons bly verras.
Dis hoekom ons hier is. Kyk, vir jou ook 'n blommetjie opsit. Dit maak die dinge net so veel meer mooi. Ja. Ag, of jy een van die tafel kry. Have you guys had your avo yet? You're waiting here behind. Sê. Baie dankie. Van almal dink ek het jy die mees aandagtigste geluister. From, I just get that feeling. You were very, very attentive.
I'm gonna
Very keen to learn.
Yeah, I'm gonna start my vegan sweets. I got used to making food now.
Have you ever made a normal meringue? Have you ever tried that?
No.
Is it? Well, today you have a new recipe.
Yes.
Yes. Ah, say.
Thank you so much.
Groot plesier. Hello. It's time for a new tart.
I don't mind having the scruffy piece.
Are you sure?
Yeah, I don't mind.
Okay. Is reg, ek sal dit nou kom haal, hoor. Baie dankie. It's the mousse that's the best part.
That's the thing.
Yes.
I want you to taste that.
And that's all that matters.
Thank you, that's perfect.
In the filling, we've got lots of almond butter as well to make it extra creamy and extra rich. Yes. I'll bring it for us now. Thank you. You're having your own creation. Yes. Just want to show everyone how beautiful they put their tart together. I like the free granadellas that they put here together. It really fixes your eye on the tart. Well done, ladies. Thank you. I love how you guys have put your tart together. The white really comes out nice, isn't it? Yes. Oh, damn it. You could have tasted your whole recipe. Yes.
For the reference, you've got
Hey. I want a spoon. Can I use your knife? Perfect. Thank you. Ah, it's not strong enough. Thank you. Ah, say. It's very much so. Every child has to be fed. Yes. Water into wine. Huh?
That is definitely a
There's luckily lots of avocado in there, so there's nothing to worry about. There we go.
thank you.
Look how aesthetic your slices. Yes, huh? I find it so funny that the helpers take their slices last.
They can get more.
Yes.
Do you have the recipes of this? I've tried to write down as much as
Yeah, it's I'll tell you now afterwards. Yes. If you go on our website, you'll see you need a bit of practice in your own time to really get it down to the coconut sugar doesn't crystallize as well. The sugar, typical like candy that they make in the stores, it gets to a point where it's hard.
oven. Do you put wax paper down?
It's very important, yes, to put baking paper.
Don't any oils or
I don't like doing oils, no. Thank you. Ah, lovely. Vegan meringue, and you're deciding if you want to put it on your cake or not. I think what's important is to consider whether I'll finish now, whether your dessert is very sweet, because the meringue is also quite sweet. So perhaps if you have a dessert that's a bit more salty, not too sweet, then it's a nice addition to add onto your dessert. If it's something like a lemon meringue that's already very sweet, obviously you want the meringue, but just consider that it's a lot of sweetness that's going onto one thing. So it's important to balance your dessert. But that's a fun thing about creating in the kitchen. You decide on your own what do you want to do and what do you think is going to work the best. And with that, I thank you all so much for coming out. Yay!
Thanks, everyone. I know this is a bit of a masterclass with a twist, but I really hope that you got to see the relevancy of why we said it's going to take 7 hours, 2 days, and 44 minutes. All right. Thank you very much. Give yourselves a round of applause, and thank you, Jacques.
Thank you, guys. Yay!
Great.